Today, Joe Biden says that new COVID restrictions could be coming around the corner. And Don Lemon says the unvaccinated should no longer be allowed to participate in society. Oh, you are watching the correct show to cover these topics today, and they all start right now. Happy Monday. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez, today joined by my good friend, America's favorite cowboy and future governor of Texas, Chad Prather, also host of the Chad Prather Show.
I feel like I've been gone for a month.
I think that you have from this show.
I've been gone for a while.
Also, you were just in Mexico.
Mexico. Don't tell anybody. They might put me in jail.
The COVID hotbed, Mexico.
Yeah.
So thanks for bringing COVID back to all of us.
Well, nobody will know because nobody knows if they got it.
That's fair. That's fair. Also joined by BlazeTV contributor and host of the Yacoubians show, Yacoubians himself. So glad
good to be with
well.
the cowboy.
Yes, I know.
It is good to be with the cowboy. They test nobody at the border.
No.
They don't know nothing.
Oh, don't even get me freaking started on that.
Let's just get right into it right now.
Hacking and yakking by the thousands.
Let's just start swinging.
With all kind of stuff.
Because you do, that's a great point. You do have to get a test when you travel internationally before you come back, right?
Yeah. I had my first and only COVID test ever while I was in Mexico before I came back.
To come back. In order to come back.
Yeah, and I felt like I was getting loaded onto a train car, right?
Yeah.
Taken to a camp. I mean, it was a horrible experience. I had legitimate anxiety over this thing because I could see the future.
So you have to get tested. If you test positive, you can't come back.
They keep you in Mexico.
They keep you in Mexico.
American citizen.
Is it on your dime?
Yes and no. I mean, you're there, but they keep you. It's on someone's dime.
So they keep you in Mexico if you are an American citizen and test positive, trying to come back to the United States if you are trying to do that. But if you're an illegal and you sneak across the border and they do test you and you test positive, you are still released into society.
I had a friend of mine. I said, dude, he got detained. They were going to keep him for 7 days with an armed guard, by the way, in his hotel. And I said, if we can just get you to Acuna, I know a way to cross.
I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes.
Just pick a fence and we'll hop it.
I know the route.
Jeez. Yeah. All right. Well, actually, I think we might get into the border if we have time later today. But let's talk, of course, President of the United States of America, just the leader of the free world, ladies and gentlemen, barely coherent these days. But Joe Biden said over the weekend that Americans should expect new COVID-related restrictions amid all of these rising cases. They're all concerned about the Delta variant. They say it's way more contagious, way more transmissible, even though if you look at the statistics, more people may be getting it, but far less people are hospitalized and dying. But don't pay attention to the numbers, folks. All right, do not pay attention to what's going on behind the curtain. Here is Joe Biden saying that in all probability, we should expect more COVID restrictions. Watch.
Should Americans expect more guidelines coming out, more restrictions because of COVID?
In all probability. By the way, we had a good day yesterday. Almost 1 million people got vaccinated. About 500,000 of those people for the first time on a second shot. And so I'm hopeful that people are beginning to realize how essential it is.
Now, this comes after several officials have been found flip-flopping. I know the CDC director, Rochelle Walensky, came out and said last week, she said that they were looking into, it's the same thing that Joe Biden said, we are looking into a federal mandate for vaccines. And then she came back later and said, well, that's not something that we're going to do. So they keep kind of going back and forth, flip-flopping on the issue. They get pushed back and then they say, no, that's not something we're going to do. But here is Joe Biden saying in all probability, you can expect more COVID restrictions. Again, even when if you look at the graphs, Chad, look at the graph and it's like the death rate has just completely plummeted.
Yeah.
People are not dying from this. Yeah. And still, new COVID restrictions are coming because we didn't learn the first time. That's the left's motto now. If something didn't work the first time, the lockdowns didn't work the first time, the restrictions didn't work the first time, we saw an increase in, childhood depression, suicides, all of the things that we lost, the economy, everything. Well, it didn't work the first time we did it, but let's just do it more, and then it will work.
So the whole deal is about control, right? We know this. The issue is about control. It's not about saving lives. It's not about grandma in the nursing home. It's not about any of these issues. It's not about protecting your children. It's not about any of these things. They don't care about anxiety. They don't care about depression. Don't care about suicide. They don't care that veterans with PTS can't get the counseling. They don't care about any of those things. The issue is about control. So China releases a virus. It's basically biowarfare. Not basically, it is. It's biowarfare. Yeah. At a time when Trump is winning the trade war against China and the economy is booming in America, what happens? They have to collapse an economy. They allow this thing to happen. It comes in here. Now you had to create a Zoom call president, which is what we got in Joe Biden. This guy, you can look at him and know he's not all there. He does not exude any form of leadership at all. His brain is pure pudding. You've heard me say this before. He's in the basement. He's drinking his Ensure by 3 p.m. and he's in bed by 6. He's out of the picture. That's why he's not going to be at Barack Obama's birthday party this weekend, because they're having it too late in the evening. He can't come. Then you have this massive open border situation that we were just talking about coming in here. They don't care about the COVID virus coming in that way. They don't care about that because, again, this gives them more control. By bringing in more illegals, by busing them into the interior of America with an already faltering and collapsing economy, with a guy like this who is not going to have a backbone, now you have more Democrat voters who are coming up to the midterms. They're going to shut down the schools again. They're going to mandate more masks. This is what's going to happen just in the next few weeks. It's going to happen in blue states, probably in a lot of red states too, red states. It's going to happen. So the whole narrative that's taking place, in a nutshell, has been about control. Yeah. They don't care about this, anything else. And by the way, the vaccine is now big business.
Yes, because you'll need it. Yeah. You'll need boosters, right? Yeah. And just line those pockets.
And the boosters will continue for years and years and years. And I agree with you, yes. If it doesn't work, do it again and again. If it doesn't work for the people, do it again. But it depends on the perspective what you look at. It has worked for them.
That's fair.
They've lined their pockets. They've lined their buddies' pockets. It's really worked for them, so they're doubling down. Sure. It's worked for Pfizer. It's worked for all the Faucis of the world, the Gateses of the world, the Soroses of the world, the Rockefellers of the world. I just name them all. The top 300 families. It's worked for all of them, right? It's worked for big tech. They've made a lot of money, so why not? It is control because it's money, because through control, they can siphon off money from the taxpayer, right? With no science to back it up whatsoever. People are flooding. If it really was about health, then they would shut the border down. If it truly was about healing people, if it really was about health, you would pay attention to what does the vaccine do to pregnant mothers? What does the vaccine do to children, right? You would pay attention to, hey, what about spike protein and all these different things that are in there? It's not about health at all. They couldn't give a rip. As a matter of fact, they'd like people to die, and I'll be the first one to say that. Sure. Because if you look at their New World Order and what they really want, it is a culling situation. It's truly about, hey, we're going to make a lot of money by bringing the numbers down, so we're going to let anything come in. We delayed the inevitable, okay? You can't stop a virus. You can't make it disappear. You can't see it. It's like catching the wind. Catch the wind. Bottle it for me, right? Bottle lightning. Let's go on. So they've known that they're delaying the inevitable. People were going to get COVID. Rather, keep it open, run as hard as you can, boost your immune system, protect the true vulnerable, the old people, and let this thing come. Let's face it.
Which is what places like Sweden did.
And what happened? Right. The death rate plummets. Yep. Which is what you're seeing now. But you can't talk death rate. It plummets.
Right.
I'd argue right now we're seeing an increase faster in some complications, I'll be kind, from the vaccine. I want to say something else, but I want you to show in the air, right? Versus people dying from COVID, right? So no, this is absolute control. But listen, it's big bucks. It's big money business. I was thinking this morning, if you're Pfizer, you're smiling like a fat cat.
Of course.
You're a fat cat.
When you alluded to me, you said on your dime, talking about a Mexican resort. It's on someone's dime. Yeah. The bottom line is they're not doing it for free.
No.
Right.
They're getting paid.
They're getting paid. Yeah. And there's incentives that are there, whoever the big business, big pharma, whatever you want to call it behind all of that are pulling the puppet strings. Big money.
Yeah. So on the subject of Joe Biden, you mentioned President Pudding Brain earlier. He can't go to Barack Obama's party because, look, that's, 7 o'clock?
Maybe like 7 p.m.
He'll have been asleep for several hours by that point.
Yeah, he's in REM sleep at that point.
Deep in it.
So over the weekend, a really awkward Joe Biden video surfaced. If we can watch this. So he is
I'm going to make a brief statement here.
Yeah, he's giving a press conference.
Ask the Vice President
he's got a little,
words,
he's got a weird thing on his chin, if you guys can see. It's about right here. It's this.
1 month ago,
is it a booger?
But first, what will
It's
be
some
a
of that
bottom
pudding.
right.
briefing
It's
on
the.
wildfire.
It could be the
pudding.
He's
pudding.
leaking. He's leaking.
It could be that. Look, now you
There
can
it is.
really see it there. Look, he gets past a note.
State government, along with local
And he reads the note, and then he wipes it, and that was not even.
And then?
And then he ate it. He just ate it.
This time of year, normally
Ate it.
2.5 times
Then he
more
picks up the
acreage
note.
burned in the last
Yeah,
decade
and
than
you're like, what did the
previous.
note say? Oh, it
So
said,
those are
sir,
the
there is
obvious
something on your chin.
concerns.
He shows the world.
Oh.
It's upside down. Hey, can you vomit? Just vomit in this cup real quick.
He's just sitting there
I mean,
showing
come
the
on.
world.
The leader of
Good
the free
night.
world.
It makes you think, what was he thinking? He's looking at the back going, wait a minute, there was something here a minute ago, now it's
Now
blank.
it's gone.
Suddenly there's a blank piece of
It was
paper.
invisible ink. That's what he's saying. This was written in invisible ink. It's amazing.
Oh my
So
God.
that's just, everything's fine. It's fine. Don't pay attention to
Whatever it
everything
was, he
burning down
ate it off of
around
his
us.
chin. He ate it. I mean, it was dried pudding or
It was-
insured tapioca or something.
Booger.
Hey, he's got the new coats.
Oh my gosh,
got 'em.
dude.
Some poor lady's dandruff from the hair he was sniffing. We
we
don't
have
know.
to laugh at
We
this
don't
because
know.
it's so sad.
It is really sad. I mean, I'm more sad for America than I
It's
am for him.
abuse.
Well,
It's
yeah.
abuse. It's abuse.
It's elder abuse, but I don't even care about Joe Biden anymore. He wanted it. He asked for it. He knew what he was selling his soul at the crossroads to get, and he got it. And they're using him. He's there. He's a puppet on a string.
Yeah, he's complicit.
Yeah. All right. Let's kind of go into. I know we're not going to be able to get into all of it first. But let me just touch on all of this mandatory vaccine business because it is something that is being pushed, and it is something that we told you was going to be pushed. And there were a lot of people who said you're a conspiracy theorist. That's not what's going to happen. He said let them shut you down. Let them. Force you to put a mask on your face, and this is where it ends, at mandatory vaccines. And I just have to tell you, we've got several stories to get into after the break that are going to make your head spin when it comes to not just people advocating for mandatory vaccines, but the government putting pressure on private businesses to implement mandatory vaccines for private businesses. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Omega XL. So if you've got a lot of pain, maybe it's neck pain, shoulder pain, whatever the case may be, what you don't realize is the underlying cause is probably inflammation. And unless you actually defeat the inflammation, you can cause permanent damage and you're going to still live in pain. Omega XL is backed by 35 years of clinical research, and it is actually going to attack the root cause, which is the inflammation that is causing your pain. So you're not going to want to do something like rub a cream on your neck or your shoulder or wherever, and you think it feels really great for about 10 minutes. And then you're back to hurting again. Don't do that, all right? Omega XL will neutralize the inflammation that causes your painful, stiff muscles. By the way, I know there are a lot of men out there who are like, if it's natural, I don't like it. Well, let me just tell you, this is natural. It is an essential fatty acid combination from the waters of New Zealand, and it actually works, all right? You got to try it. Let's get you started. Order Omega XL right now and get a second bottle for free. Visit omegaxl.com/news. That is omegaxl.com/news. I am telling you, it can get you out of pain, and it will be life-changing at omegaxl.com/news. So we are going to get into what's going on with the push for mandatory vaccination. But I do have to say, I just read over the break, one of my producers in the building just texted me something that said that the Louisiana governor is reinstating the statewide mask mandate on age 5. And
What do Louisiana coon asses have to be scared of? They ain't scared of germs. They've been
No,
eating
I mean,
bugs
I
out of
thought it's-
ditches for 150,000 years.
I thought it's swamp people. I mean,
Yeah.
they need to take your state back.
Dude.
Run that guy out of office.
You can kill one of them Cajuns and put them in a ditch, and tomorrow they show up with a meal that they got from ingredients in the ditch. They ain't scared of nothing, man. You
I
think
don't
they're worried
know
about a little
what
germ, a little bug?
in the
They
world.
ain't washed
No.
their hands in 6 months.
So there
I
you
love
have it.
Louisiana, but
These
they're
are
screwing it up,
coming
man.
back.
Yeah, they
These
screwed
mask
the red-
mandates are coming
red.
back. And of course, even for those who are vaccinated, because your vaccine actually doesn't protect you, is what I'm getting, right? That's
Doesn't
what you can
protect
apply,
you.
right?
The
It doesn't
vaccine
protect
is
you.
not worth jack.
But the answer, of course, is to get more people vaccinated
More
so
money.
more people can have a vaccine that also doesn't work.
Listen, you're going to be on your 12th booster.
Yeah.
Sitting there, you're going to be on your 12th booster
20,
going.
30, you're going to take boosters.
Beta males patting themselves on the back thinking they finally did something for society.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a date in high school, but by God, I'm doing this for culture.
20 extra arms by that point.
Yeah, you're going to grow some extra eyeballs.
So
You're going to be like Total Recall, that girl with 3 boobs.
I mean, that might be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm not here to
I
judge.
disagree.
I'm not here to judge. I don't know.
I'll look.
So let's get to, we're already off the rails here. So let's get to the push for mandatory vaccination. So there's several different stories going on all at once. There are 2 major United States employers who just announced policies that they will require the COVID vaccine for their employees. That is Walt Disney Corporation, which of course is the Disney theme parks. That's ABC Networks. That's their movie studios. That is a lot of people. ESPN. I mean, that is
ABC?
a ton.
ABC?
ABC. A ton of people. Also, of course, Walmart. So you have that was Google and Facebook. Also, I think it was last week, announced that they were also requiring a mandate for Netflix for this vaccine. And you're talking about, again, something that's still to this day does not have full FDA approval. Now, I'm not one to say if the FDA approves it, it's super great. I've never thought that, I mean, in my entire life. But just to say, for the people who do think that the FDA is the one who should approve or disprove anything, and once it approves it, it is considered safe, they don't even have that yet. So, by the way, I do know someone who works at one of the Disney companies, and it is being put upon the managers to check their employees' proof of vaccine. Which I just wonder, like, do they have to take a crash course in how to spot a fake COVID vaccination record? Like, these managers have no idea what to look for, nor should they be enforcing
Disney,
something
they're
like
pretty
this.
good, man.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen them now? They sign those autograph books like Mickey Mouse and
Well,
stuff.
you're going to have Donald Duck trying to read the vaccine stuff?
They do it just like Mickey signs his.
The Disney contracts are, you sign your life away, number one. But there's a bit of a difference, though, between Disney and Walmart. Walmart is asking their senior executives to take the vaccine in the hope that it encourages the downstream employees. They're not quite mandating it for the cashier yet, but Disney, you better believe.
Disney's everyone.
The girl who's in the Mickey Mouse suit, that was the disaster for me when I found that out when I was younger. That there's no guy in a Mickey suit, it's all girls. I was
Yucca was traumatized.
I mean, this went wrong from the beginning, you know. I mean, I think.
Well, and this is, of course, there are multiple hospitals, especially in this area, who are mandating it for their healthcare workers, or they get fired. So it's like, you nurses, you guys were like heroes a year ago.
Y'all were dancing.
Now you're going to be out on the street.
See,
if
y'all
you
were
don't take
dancing,
this damn
doing
shot.
TikTok videos, and y'all were doing your choreographed thing out in the hallways. And everybody's like, oh, nurses, respiratory therapists, TikTok. Now look at what's happening. But see, we told you it was coming.
Yes.
So Baylor's doing it. Methodist Hospital in Houston doing it. They've already said that if you don't get it, if Baylor's already told their employees, if they don't get the vaccine by October 1, you're done.
60 days for Disney. 60 days. They gave them 60 days. It's
fired, not reprimanded, not put on
Lose
probation.
your job.
You're out.
Fired. Right.
All the money you spent to get educated.
Vaccine.
To be a doctor, a nurse practitioner, and look, I know, listen, I know a lot of people in the medical profession. Medicine is way up here, and we're going to trust the science. This ain't the science, people.
Right. There is no science on it.
This isn't the science.
And the science that we do have
you can't talk
certainly points to the fact that people should have a choice in the matter. All right, so let's get into a couple of the pushes for this. You have New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is asking private businesses. So a lot of people, we had this conversation last week on the show. I had this conversation with Eric July, and I said, you know what, I really have a problem, even with private businesses mandating that their customers have vaccines, wear masks, all these things. And when we started talking about it, I said, you know what? The root cause of my problem is that it doesn't feel genuine. It's when it's being forced by government, when they're being pressured, when government is pressuring the free market and private businesses to do these things, it is not the free market anymore. That is not a free market when it's government coercion. So here you have Andrew Cuomo asking private businesses to go to vaccine-only admission. Watch.
Private businesses, I am asking them
and suggesting to them, go to vaccine-only admission. Go to vaccine-only admission. We did this.
Even though the vaccine doesn't
Radio City
keep you
Music
from
Hall
catching it.
months ago.
How are you going to monitor that?
Reopened, vaccine only. Sold out all the shows.
I'll tell you how.
Sports arenas, they went up to about 90% vaccine only. Private businesses, bars, restaurants,
Massage parlors.
go to a vaccine only admission. I believe it's in your best business interest. You know, if I go to a bar and I want to have a drink and I want to talk to the person next to me, I want to know that that person is vaccinated.
Why? If the vaccine
If you say
works!
to people, well, if you don't have a vaccine, you can't get into these establishments, then you'll see a real incentive to get vaccinated.
Okay. All right. Okay. I gotta go, Brody. I gotta go. I own small business. You own small business. You own small business. If you're a small business owner today, I want to remind you of something. You lost 52% of your revenue, if you're still alive, as a business, with the lockdowns. You lost 52%. Okay. 100,000 businesses will never open again. Now they're saying this is Forbes, by the way, not the most conservative. Okay. 9 million businesses will close, small business. Not even with another lockdown. They're just on their way to failing by a lifeline, okay? You're going to shut this place down again? They will cripple this nation, and it's what I'm telling you right there, it's what they want. They want to be big government, grow government so large you can't count them, to come in the white knight on a horse to save you and send you a little mail money and make you dependent and get you on some opioids and go smoke some crack and meth because you don't have to work and families fall apart. This is by design.
100%.
You got to resist this with everything in your power. You're going to lose your shirt.
Go back to what I was saying earlier, what we alluded to, the control and the money, the whole narrative. That's what the whole plan was about. China's sitting back, licking their chops and laughing. They know they got a guy in the White House who's already sold out to China. They already know that they got a guy they can control. Mexico and all of the 130 nations that are passing through our southern border, those are all being used as pawns to get our focus over here while the dollar crashes. The dollar crashes, the economy is crippled. You can't go to work. People don't want to go to work because we've incentivized their laziness and their apathy. So it's all by design. You're exactly right when you say that. So you ask, how do you control that? Well, I'll tell you, you do a thing like this app right here, Verify. Verify. I have to go on here. I've got to put a picture. If I'm going to fly from a foreign country back into America, I got to put my picture on here. I've got to submit my COVID-19 test review. I've got to do all these things. They're going to control it all by an app. You control the thing by an app. You got the deal. You got your little QR code and the whole thing. You're not getting in the theater. You're not getting the sports events. You're not going to do it. Me as an entertainer, I'm not going to be able to go and to do anything in any of these venues unless I can verify a vaccine.
Okay, but I just need it to make sense, because if you have been vaccinated
I thought it
and
works.
the vaccine works,
What do you care?
what is it your business? Who else has been
I didn't
vaccinated?
say it. She said it this time.
Gonna get an email for that one, but you know what? I don't care. I'm tired of this. Here, look. While you're looking, let me play Don Lemon really quickly.
Play Donnie.
We're late. Let me play Don Lemon actually advocating.
Let's do 2 hours today.
For unvaccinated people not being allowed to go to the grocery store or work. Watch.
What did this
You have
idiot
to be
talk about?
more direct. A more concerted effort to say get vaccinated, because you're not just killing yourself, you're going to kill other people. That's what you have to start telling people. You got to start telling people, if you don't get vaccinated, you can't come into this office or this place of business. If you don't get vaccinated, you can't come to work. If you don't get vaccinated, you can't come into this gym. If you don't get vaccinated, you can't get onto this airplane.
Sounds a lot like he doesn't trust in the vaccine.
It has nothing to do with freedom. It has nothing to do with liberty. You don't
Everything
have
to do with
everything
to put
has
other
got to do
people
with
in
liberty
jeopardy.
and freedom.
You don't have that. You have to drive the speed limit. You have to obey the rules. Put some rules in place that will demand that people get vaccinated. You can't just go around and say, well, look, it's my personal life, freedom and my liberty. I want to go 150 miles an hour if I want to. Sure you can. But you have to suffer the consequences for it.
Okay, listen, man. Comparing a speeding ticket to putting juju juice in my body, it's a whole different conversation, buddy. Okay? You don't know the Constitution, and nobody wants to come into your building. You work for a criminal network, okay? Listen, I'm telling you, if you listen to these puppets, this is where we're going to, Prather, this is where we're going to draw the line. And I know behind the scenes when we talk about Texas, the Republic of Texas, this is where people are going to have to draw a line. I mean, even the far left who voted for Sippy Cup, I call him Sippy Cup still because that's what he gets, a little night, a little night
juice.
Yeah, right? If you voted for him still, I'm seeing a lot of them going, wait a minute, now it gets personal. You're going to touch my bank account. Now you get, Absolutely do not be bamboozled here. It is all about your freedom. It's all about taking your liberties and your freedom away, because when they do, they control you like they control the White House at the moment. Yeah. And you got to say no with every fiber of your being. This is where the Abbott, Nome, these real true conservative governors, you better step up and hold the fort. Yeah. DeSantis.
Yeah.
See, DeSantis. Yeah, I can't do it that quick.
Well, no, go ahead.
I'm just saying, DeSantis, he came out the other day and he said there will be no masks, there will be no mandates, there will be no shutdowns, there will be no quarantines, there will be none of this, no school lockdowns. We're not going to have any of that. Greg Abbott's come out in Texas and basically said the same thing. Of course, when Greg Abbott says that, I'm looking for the loophole. I'm looking for the loophole. Like, what you got to do is you got to criminalize these shutdowns. Yes. You criminalize a vaccine passport. You criminalize a quarantine. Anybody that wants to stop you, you criminalize that.
And by the way, make sure private businesses are
they're protected.
Totally protected.
People who want to sue you for being open.
100%.
Yeah.
Because that's what you've got to do. So this whole thing, because if you can use that logic, Don Lemon, who, by the way, is used to getting injections. Yeah. If you can say that, I can use your same stupid logic and say it's time to criminalize those of you who want to force me to do something, because it is about my freedom. He calls it circular logic. Circular logic is when I say, if you get the vaccine, you'll be okay, but it's going to circle back around to you're not okay.
Right, because again, if your vaccine works, it doesn't matter who else is vaccinated around you. You want to talk about people creating vaccine hesitancy, it's twerps like Don Lemon over there.
And somebody tell the friggin' truth. Just tell the truth.
Well, that's what we're trying to do here at BlazeTV. All
this was a fun show when it lasted.
We've got to take our break. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Built Bar. So if you like a good snack throughout the day, maybe you've got a sweet tooth, but you obviously don't want to eat Snickers bars all the time. Well, maybe you do want to eat Snickers bars all the time, but the problem with that is that you're going to blow up into about 700 pounds if you do that. But tell you what, you can have your sweet treat, you can enjoy it, and you can also not gain the weight with it. That is why Built Bar is here, all right, to save the day. They've got a bunch of different flavors. It is a protein bar, so it's healthy for you. It's low in calories, it's high in protein, and they taste delicious. They've got mint brownie, they've got double chocolate, salted caramel, cookies and cream, a ton more. And by the way, you can find a mixed box at their website where you can get 2 of each of their 9 regular flavors that they have, so you can pick which ones you like the best, get a full box of those next time. But I gotta tell you, I have not found a Built Bar flavor that I do not like, because they are all super delicious. You chocoholics are really gonna love it. They're all covered in 100% chocolate. You can go to built.com, that is BUILT.com. Use promo code NEWS15. You'll save 15% off of your order only at built.com. You guys mentioned the border earlier in the program. There was drone footage that emerged online yesterday that reportedly showed up to 1,000 illegal immigrants being held by Border Patrol in Mission, Texas. So for those of you who are watching, I mean, this is an overpass, and it's just flooded with a ton of illegal immigrants just hanging out in the heat.
No COVID down there.
I mean, I didn't see a lot of social distancing. Yeah. I really didn't. There are the masks. And by the way, as you guys who watch the program every day remember, they are offering the COVID vaccines to these illegal immigrants who are being held.
But they can say no thank you.
They can decline it, which some of them are. So I guess probably we will get mandated to have COVID vaccines before the illegal immigrants flooding our country will get mandated to have COVID vaccines. But this is something that I think the administration has done a very good job of punting on at the beginning. They got some heat for it. And after that, they were able to kind of brush it off, kick the can down the road. But here it is. If you actually look at what's going on at the border, the can is not being kicked down the road. The can is here. The can is here.
And it's open.
And it is open. Chad, I know you were just there recently to see all this for yourself.
Yeah, I spent a couple of weeks down there at the border. It wasn't my first time down there. Won't be my last time down there. I saw it firsthand. I stood there on the Rio Grande. There with no wall, no fence. I've got pictures. You can go to scorecard.com, texasscorecard.com. You can see our stories and our pictures of what the Abbott plan is. It's chain link fence. It's chain link fence. They cut through that like butter. They've thrown a little razor wire on there. They're not scared of something like that. Look, if they can scale a wall that's in certain places. I was in one section that was that was guarded by two 21-year-old National Guardsmen who, if you walked 12 feet, you were at the end of the wall and there was one string of barbed wire. That was it. I mean, the whole thing is a joke. To say that the border is secure is a joke. 1,100 apprehensions a day in Val Verde County alone. 84 countries represented this year alone that have crossed. 84 countries. They're coming from Yemen, they're coming from Pakistan, they're coming from Sudan, they're coming from Rwanda, they're coming from Iran, they're coming from Iraq, they're coming from Oman. They're not coming from Finland and France, folks. No. That's not where they're coming from. They're coming from Haiti.
So you're telling me that someone who opposes illegal immigration is not just a racist xenophobe who hates brown people?
Look, I don't. And at the end of the day, here's what I want to do. If I were governor of Texas, let me just look into the camera and tell you. If I were governor of Texas, here's what we would do. Because I saw numerous buses filled with illegals being ported in the interior of this country. And it's happening every single night. I could take you down there with me personally. I'll show you where the buses are going out. They're filling them up. I would keep 12 buses, and me and the Texas Rangers would drive through the night for 2 days. We would take them to Washington, D.C., 12 buses full of illegals, and we would open the doors right there on the Capitol steps and say, here you go, Joe. It's your problem now. You don't want it. We don't want it in our property. We don't want it going. This is what's happening right here. Hey, what's the Cori Bush or whatever her name was, who's laying on the Capitol steps with her little Pringles and her Oreos, talking about how oppressed they got it sleeping on the Capitol steps in her North Face sleeping bag. Listen, your problem now. You haven't seen a damn thing yet until this right here comes to your neighborhood, and I promise you, it's coming.
No, yeah, and you shut that sucker down immediately. Shut the border down. I'm waiting for that. Look, Abbott won't do it. He just doesn't have it.
Won't do it.
He won't do it.
He keeps claiming he will.
You won't do it.
Anything.
You talk about it or you do it, and the talkers don't do. That's what I've learned.
Stop talking about doing it.
Do it. Yeah. Shut it down. Shut it down.
I don't need a news release about what you're going to do.
Shut it down.
You didn't even call the House Democrats back into a special session. You gave them 6 weeks like a child in timeout to plan what they were going to do next when they went to Washington, D.C. on a chartered plane and hid under Nancy Pelosi's skirt. Stop telling people what you're going to do. Stop telegraphing the message and freaking do it.
Shut it down. Like hard shut down. And then they'll squeal because
why come out?
When trucks can't come across the border and food can't make it to Washington, D.C.
Right.
And you know about 50-60% of American produce flows through Texas from Mexico.
Right.
Shut it down. Now you're going to see big corporations, big retailers are going to, whoa, wait a minute. You're hitting our bottom line over here. Yeah, you sure do. You're coming through Texas.
And for those of you who missed it over the end of last week.
Coming through Texas.
Greg Orbit, whatever his name is, Abbott.
He is in the orbit.
He's out there. Yeah. He passed a deal, or he passed an executive order saying that they were going to stop the flow of immigrants, or illegals rather, in transportation vehicles on the roads of Texas. Yeah. Merrick Garland, the DOJ, is now suing Texas, saying it's dangerous and unlawful because it's going to profile Latinos and people of color are going to be racially profiled. Why did you even tell them you were going to do it?
Yeah.
You own the highways. We own our highways. We own our interstate. You shut it down.
No, but,
stop it.
No, but do you know why you telegraph it? You telegraph it to see if you have support.
Right.
So that if you don't do it, you fall softly. It's called a safety net.
That's exactly right. And that's why Greg Abbott spends $25,000 a week to do a public opinion poll to see if people approve of what his damn decisions are. Yeah. And you know what? Yeah. He goes with those polls. Yeah. It's an election year, people. Yeah. Wake up!
Yeah. He goes with those polls now because it's an election year. He didn't go with those polls when he was shutting his businesses down.
Everything he said. Right now, in the last weeks, he said in 2014, 2015. And I don't know how anybody can be a conservative Christian who has a platform that sits there and says, oh, I'm all for Texas. And he shut your churches down.
Yes. Yes.
And you're going to be a spokesperson for Greg Abbott?
And
it's a joke.
No, and it's coming again.
And it's coming again. It's going to be a shutdown. There is a loophole, and it will happen.
It's coming again.
I feel like I just should go ahead and remind everyone.
You said, listen, you get me on this topic, and I'll get fired up on this thing.
I know. It was intentional.
Your church was placed in the same category as a massage parlor on March 19th, 2020. Go look up the executive order.
Right.
Before you come at me and say he never said that, go look it up.
I just feel like I would be remiss if I didn't just say prather2022.com.
.com. I've raised $105 today.
You will never find a man.
He's got a rolling.
Give
me that phone.
He's scared of me.
Give me that phone. Give me that phone.
Scared of me.
I was in the rolling telly. $105.
You will never find a man more passionate about this state than this man.
They had a strategy
right
meeting.
here.
They had a strategy meeting. There were some people that were there that claimed to be my friends. They were there at that strategy meeting. And Greg Abbott wants to talk about how he's killing the game in social media. They lied about the numbers. I've got the charts because I had somebody who was there sending me pictures of the graphs. And let me tell you something. The fact that I'm right there in that list of people that are running against Greg Abbott. He's scared because we're going to shut this state down and make Texas great again.
Yep.
All right, prather2022.com. Come on, you donate to this energy right here. It's way better than...
Got to burn it off, man.
Frickin' Abbott. All right, we've got more to come. First, we want to thank our sponsor, American Hartford Gold. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has noticed that the state of our nation has changed just a little bit. It's just something that we talk about on the program all the time. And with that, so has the world's rock solid confidence in the U.S. dollar. You may have noticed that one too. No thanks to our government's out of control spending. So there are a lot of people who are saying, they're talking about inflation all the time. They're saying that there are really dark days ahead for the dollar. And that is why now more than ever, I recommend that you diversify with gold and silver and also American Hartford Gold. They sell physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside of your IRA. They make it really easy. They are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the BBB and thousands of satisfied clients. I'm telling you guys, you got to diversify right now. By the way, if you call them, they will give you up to $1,500 of free silver on your first order. So do not sleep on this. You see, Joe is just destroying the country every single day. Don't wait. You can go to, you can call 855-929-1110, or you can text freedom to 65532. That is 855-929-1110, or text freedom to 65532. The American Medical Association is facing some backlash after they determined that sex should be removed as a legal designation on the public part of birth certificates. So
sex should never be removed from anything.
From nothing.
On the birth certificates.
Gender.
No, gender,
sex,
because they tell us that sex is different than gender.
Yeah.
This is what the left has argued.
So they claim.
Sex is different
I've
than gender.
never
is
had
what
gender,
they say.
I can tell you that.
Your sex is your sex, and your gender is a construct and can be whatever you want it to be. That's been the argument the whole time.
It's fluid.
Now all of a sudden the AMA is saying
construct.
sex should be removed because requiring it can lead to discrimination and unnecessary burden on individuals whose current gender identity does not align with their designation at birth.
It gives room for the whack job parents.
That's right.
Who want to indoctrinate their child at birth and change Johnny or whatever it is into whatever they want him to be at 3, at 4, at 10, at 12. It's child abuse 100%. Sick individuals that should be in a straitjacket in a loony bin 20 years ago is where they would be. Literally, that's where they would be.
Yeah, we're legalizing lunacy. That's exactly
absolutely
right. So now when you have gender modification under the age of 18 and somebody wants to fight against that, like
California,
like Jeff Younger's doing with his son James right now in the state of Texas, who's fighting because his ex-wife's wanting to transition their child.
It's always the crazy ex-wives.
Very clearly a boy. He doesn't have a leg to stand on because, let's face it, there was no sex assigned at birth, right? At least on the... the way I always thought of it is the doctor pulls you out of your mother, or you flop out, or whatever, and he smacks you on the rear end, and he turns around, he's like, got a set of balls, male.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I always thought it. Like, there's a cheeseburger.
It's too much logic.
There's a hot dog or a cheeseburger.
Too much logic.
Unfortunately, some balls have dropped off in our country, and some of the guys.
fair.
Okay?
Here's the problem, folks. Let me talk to you, America. Here's what's happening. They're trying to feminize and betamize our males. They want to weaken us. They want to call you toxic, and so they want to weaken you as a masculine male. So what happens is China, who's sitting back laughing and waiting, they want to come in here, climb our women, sex them up, and have a whole new breed of tall warriors. They can't do that in China. That's what's going to happen, okay? They're coming after us. They know that we can be beat if we're feminized. So what they do is they make us weak. They put us on the cover of Vanity Fair with our little tight jeans on and our man bun, and they come over here and they sex up our women, and they make a whole new breed of Mongols that are going to take over the world. They can't do it right now.
But can I tell you, but this is serious though, serious note. In the same trend as we are feminizing the American male, okay? You know what China is doing? They're bringing masculinity into
the females.
even into their men. They're bringing masculinity into their men.
Yeah.
They're going in the opposite. They go, hey, America took the bait. They're making a bunch of pansies. Let's build an army. Let's build an army. At the same time, I mean, come on.
I
We're not gonna
say,
fight back.
look, why would we pay attention to science now? We've not paid attention to science since, 2019, 2018, maybe earlier than that. Why would we've spent the last year and a half not paying attention to science and data. So why would we expect the American Medical Association to pay attention to science?
I have to ask this question of you and everybody, the producers and our amazing crew here and all the viewers, okay? Raise your hand if you did not come out of the womb of a woman. Raise your hand. I'm still waiting for one guy to raise his hand that came out of the womb of a man. Mm-hmm. But I thought we're the same. We're not.
In California,
we are not. Two genders. That's
California has a
Period.
bill in legislation right now. They're wanting to give free sanitary pads and tampons to biological males, non-binary, and transgender. They want to do that. I don't know where you're going to put the tampon. I don't know where you're going to.
I don't want to know where you're going to put the tampon.
I mean, if you take the wings on the always and slap it to your face, it works as a mask.
It's a diaper. It's a diaper. It's a beautiful.
What are you bleeding out of, for crying out loud? Like, don't get in the pool, fella, because you got more than menstruation going on.
We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Nothing.
Well, so here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying what I said earlier. I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm probably gonna get an email from management. So what I could use from you right now,
good reviews,
is a review on the audio podcast to make sure management knows that you still appreciate the show. The benevolent overlords here at BlazeTV need to know that. So go to wherever you get your audio podcast, subscribe, rate, and review the news and why it matters. And you may see your review read live on air, like the one today from SJ Skiv that says, always watching. We always mute the mainstream screen heads to catch you and all your guests for news that is real. We will keep watching. This is from Sari from Sear. And then we've got one more from M. Matt, who says, love it. Phenomenal show with an upbeat feel. So thank you guys for that. And I'm wondering what they're thinking. I feel like they're pretty happy with my lineup today.
5 stars.
With my lineup today. So let us know what you think. Please tell my bosses not to fire me for saying what I said.
Not for one time.
And
my contract's coming up here in a month. I haven't heard a damn thing.
And let them know how much you love the future governor of Texas here, Chad Prather. By the way, again, Prather2022.com. Let's make that $120 that he's raised today. Let's make it.
Abbotout.com.
Thanks, guys, for being here.
True story. You know, I've also got Beto22.com.